Hello everybody. This will be chapter 16 for shelter temperature. The temperature in underground shelters is regulated mostly by the surrounding soil, and that's why you should never ever insulate a shelter. The effects of heat and humidity on humans in closed environments with low air movement is listed here. Most of the time when you put a shelter in the ground, you're going to be between 60 and 75 degrees. So you're around this normal temperature for normal health. But there are also other issues that come in to raise the temperature. Human beings, seated and sedentary, are going to produce about 400 BTUs an hour. And also, if you have candles or cooking, if you have any cooking, whether it's propane or flames or alcohol, each one, in this case, each one of these candles is going to produce 340, but a cooking stove is going to produce about 3 times that per hour. In the normal range, and here's your comfort zone, and this is also affected by age. An older person is going to want to be in this area, and a younger person is going to be able to be comfortable at a lower temperature. But it's really reflected to humidity, and the humidity in the shelter when you're operating the blower on the air filtration system is going to be whatever the outside is. If it's 50% humidity outside, that's what it's going to be in the shelter. But the temperature is something different. The temperature inside the shelter is not going to change much from bringing in the outside air. What determines the temperature of this shelter mostly is the temperature of the ground down here. And that we can look up state by state. That's in POP. You can look up state by state. Texas, for example, at 5 to 15 feet, you're going to have a temperature that's 58 to 82 degrees. The shelters that I have in Houston are 74 degrees. And it's hard to change that because you've got a 500,000 pounds of earth around you, even a small shelter. If you insulate it, then you have to control the temperature, and you're usually going to get overheating. One of my early mistakes in the late 70s was I insulated a shelter, and it was a very big mistake. You will get, it's great when no one's in it, but as soon as you get half a dozen people in there, lights working, they're cooking, they're showering, it's going to be way too hot. So that's something that you always have to be careful of. You're bringing in fresh filtered air from the outside. That temperature doesn't change much. Doesn't change the temperature of the shelter much. And most of the time, this is really true. You can look this up in POP. All the states are there. It's going to be right in between here. I think Houston is about the most difficult place in the country to actually have a shelter because the earth is so warm. But even at 15, 16 feet, we were at 74 degrees. Now, when the shelterists are in the shelter, it's going to raise on the average about 5, maybe 8 degrees. That's about it. And if you got good air circulation, it makes it a lot more comfortable.